Okay.
Kamoy, we got a lot to talk about, friend. We got a lot to talk about. We got some things to clear up, and
That we do.
let's do it.
That we do. Let's do it.
Let's do it. What up, y'all? Another episode of Conversations with a Genius. Listen, real quick backstory. When I started Conversations with a Genius, it was during the pandemic, and we was all on Instagram Live, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring my real conversations that I have on the phone, my group chats, my kitchen table talks, with the real geniuses that I have in my life. Everybody I know is doing something. So that's how it started. And I went back to the essence. And today, I got a fellow genius. I think you think you're a genius, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
The homie Kamoy J, stylist, entrepreneur, owner of Savoir Faire. Am I saying it correctly?
Yes, you ate
Savoir
that
Faire.
up.
I
You ate that.
finally
You ate
said
it.
it.
You
I
ate it. You
finally
ate it.
said
You
it
ate it.
right.
You ate it. You
I
ate
got the
it.
hat on. I show support a little bit, nothing crazy. Like, you know what I mean? I show
Yeah.
support. But how you
Thank
doing,
you.
Kamoy? How are you
Always.
doing, Kamoy?
I'm doing well. I'm good. I'm doing well. No complaints. I'm really no complaints for real. Like I am thankful and grateful for the good, the bad, the indifferent, it all. And I'm blessed to say that I'm here to slay another day,
Yeah.
as RuPaul would say.
Okay, you got this Savoir Faire behind you and you're wearing it. And one thing I
Hmm.
like about anybody is if you have a brand, wear your own brand. Every time I see you, I just see you in your stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
in your thing, like rep your thing. So I love that. Listen, we're gonna get into that and how you got into that, but I want to start from the beginning and dive right in, okay? I want to get into how we met. You remember how we met? You remember the first time we actually locked in?
I remember the first time we actually
Locked
met
in.
face to face and locked in. Was it the same day?
No,
Locked
no,
in
no,
and
no. I
face to
feel we
face
met.
meeting?
We met. We was cool. We was acquainted, and then I remember we locked in. So my
Yes.
my memory is, you know what I'm saying. We met. We had a mutual friend at the time,
Hmm.
and we met, and you was cool. You was cool. I ain't know. I ain't really know you. I was kind of like,
Tell the
judge.
truth. Tell
I
the
was
truth.
judging the book by its cover a little bit. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't know how he going. You know what I'm saying? But fast forward, we in the club and Get Money come on, and everybody know. If y'all know out there, Get Money come on. Biggie, Dream Mafia, Kim. If you don't know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially Kim Part, I kind of
Better
lose it.
grab your seat.
Grab on
Grab on your
as
as it
this get
dig
so
deep.
me and you
Okay?
going back and forth, and we locked in and we going bar for bar battling. It was a versus, no shade.
No shade, because sidebar, that is my favorite Kim verse. Like,
Yeah,
why would she go so crazy?
yeah, went real crazy. And we locked in. We was going back and forth, da 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 da. And I was like, nah, that's my like, nah, he cool. So you know what I'm saying, here and there, whatever, got cool. When we locked in was, of course, last minute Poppy here, got a show, out of town. Kamoy, you a stylist. I need you. One thing I'm gonna do is utilize my friends. I have no
Mm-hmm.
problem utilizing my friends' gifts and talents and connecting and what you
And
got
I
going
love
on.
that.
This one
As
has
you
something
should.
going on,
As you
and let's
should.
do it. So I'm like, Kamoy, of course you read. Why you wait till last minute? Da,
Red.
da, 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 da. I'm like, I know it's a lot. Da, da, da. We run around New York. That's when I feel like we locked in. We locked in
Yeah. Yeah. That
creativity
was
with our creativity. Like
mm-hmm.
majority of our conversation, if not all of it, is about creative stuff,
Yep.
about behind the scenes stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Especially last year. Last year was real active for I think both of
Yeah.
us. And so you're calling
Yeah.
me, telling me what happened behind the scenes at your situation. I'm over here telling you what happened behind the scenes, telling you what happened behind the scenes in my situation. And we just,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? So I feel like we connected. Definitely our connection definitely is the creativity and the entrepreneurship of it all.
Yes.
And
The drive, the passion.
that's really how we
Yeah.
locked in.
And the
So
talent. The
the
talent.
talent.
You
And if I
know?
call you, if I got an idea, I could call you and you give me your honest opinion. If you call me, I give you my honest opinion. I was like, yo, nah, Kamoy is really like a visionary. Like, that's when I really was like, oh, nah, this goes beyond, like, I told you this before. Don't act like that. I told you this. I told you this
I
before.
just Imposter syndrome, but we'll get into
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. This
Yeah.
goes. Oh, we're definitely gonna get into that because this goes beyond. That's my homeboy. Like it was like, yo, nah, he's really like, I trust him even with an idea. Like you'll keep it a band because you have the same creative mind. You get what I mean?
It's really interesting how you can think one thing of a person, but then when y'all really lock in and y'all just develop something so much more, like it's the juxtaposition of it all, like
yeah.
it's just like, it's amazing. So I just want to say that, just to wrap that up, I'm really happy that we are where we are and we connected on such a level, because as we get older, I think it's so important to surround yourself with like-minded people and people who are driven just like you, right? Because they're going to keep you going.
Yeah.
They're going to, I don't know about you, but well, I know about you, but we're people that our friends motivate us, right?
Yes.
I'm not going to see my friend doing one thing and I'm going to, get jealous or shy away from it or mute myself down. No, I'm looking at that and I'm like, oh, perfect example. One of my homegirls just bought a house, right?
Yes.
The just seeing her go through that, the vision is just so much more clearer. And I'm like, you know what? I love that. That's admirable. I'm supposed to go over there to help her, fix stuff up. But I'm like, that's the stuff that I see myself around, that I want to surround myself with. So thank you for being you, friend. And thank you for having me. I'm so excited
for
and
this
honored to
conversation.
be here. I'm so
excited
honored
for
to
this
be here.
conversation. Yes.
I'm not an in front of the camera girl, but you called, you asked me to be here. I'm so honored. And so here I am.
Because we talked about it. We talked about, what I'm saying? You play around with it like, oh, you got to interview me, friend, and whatever. And then when the time came, I was like, yeah, I'm back at it. And you back at it. And timing is everything. And just to piggyback off of what you said, you know what I'm saying? You got to be secure in yourself. You got to be secure in your position in somebody's life. And, like you said, when I say that, I mean, like you said, your friend got a house. Anytime a friend calls me with news or calls me with something good going on, it's like, oh, how can I help? How can I be there? You know what I'm saying? Or I congratulate. I have no problem giving it up to the next person because it takes nothing from me. You get what I'm saying? And that's one thing about you. You give it up. And if it's in you, what I say all the time, if it's in you,
it's in you.
It's in you.
It's in you. It's that's not on you. It's in you.
It's in you. So listen.
We all in this together at the end of the day.
That's it. Lifting each other up. Listen, the genesis, the beginning. Okay. Yes. I know you are of Caribbean descent. Are you first generation here? Like, give me that story. Where are you from? Like,
I am
give
first
me that
generation here. Okay, so origin, my mother is from Antigua, which is a small island in the West Indies. And my dad, now passed, but was from Guyana, which is the only English-speaking country in South America. It's in South America, but the customs are very like West Indian. So essentially they're part of the Caribbean, but they're just placed actually in South America. But yes, Antiguan and Guyanese heritage. My mom and dad migrated here in the late 80s. And my mom, planted her roots here in Harlem and had me at the Harlem Hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
don't give too much because people will be looking up your records.
Okay, your records. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I just want the girls to know I'm really from Harlem.
Really from I'm really from Harlem.
That's why I had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
There's very few of us born in the Harlem Hospital. And people be like, oh, ew, that's ghetto. Listen, my mother did what she had to do, okay?
To be clear, Harlem, USA, original. USA. Not a transplant. Shout out to the transplants.
Not a transplant. Sorry to the transplants.
But you know what I'm saying? One thing about you though, you have welcomed me with open arms to Harlem. I'm not gonna hold you. Welcome open
because
arms.
I love a black transplant in Harlem.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with what I call a new gentrifier, who is like someone who's black, who's not from here, but you still moved here, it's still keeping the origin of what the neighborhood was supposed to be, right? And like everything, change is good, you know. And so I love to see the change in my neighborhood with all of the transplants coming in, the Black transplants coming in.
Have you always been fashionable though? Like when did the fashion thing kick in? When did the wait, I think I could dress. Wait, I care about this matching with this one and this putting this one in. When did that start?
I would say that started probably my junior year of high school. I've always been interested in fashion, but fashionable myself and interested in like my own personal style. Yeah, I would say that came later on in life. Um, you know, as a kid, I was always into playing with dolls. I had a homegirl that lived around the corner. I would beg my mother almost every Friday, Saturday to go to her house just to play with her dolls. I didn't really care too much. Now, I loved her down, don't get me wrong, but I really just wanted to play with her dolls because I loved like switching the clothes and dressing them up and accessorizing, and like it brought something out of me. I always loved to draw growing up. I loved to draw female figures, do the skirts, the dresses, the hair, all that kind of stuff. And then I will also say that like always love to watch like the glamorous movies as a kid, like Clueless and Get a Clue and um Totally Spies, like those cartoons where like
First of all, pay homage. Okay?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Like, you know, Totally Spies, I think, is the only cartoon that where the characters switch clothes every episode or multiple
yeah,
times per episode.
yeah.
And that is something as a kid, like now thinking back on it, I may not have noticed that that was what drew me into it then, but definitely now I know for a fact that's why I loved that show, because the girls used to dress down, you know? Um, so yes, that's sort of my origin of like me being into fashion and like being into clothes and stuff. But in terms of my own personal style, yeah, I wouldn't say that developed until probably like my junior and senior year of high school. And that's because growing up I had strict Caribbean parents. Like, I'm from Harlem. We live in New York City, but when I was in my childhood home, like it was as if we were in the Caribbean. Like my parents raised me that way. So Jordans was not a thing. Prada's was not a thing. Montclair coat was not a thing. You know, if I wanted that stuff, my mother and father told me, you need to get a job and you buy that. We're providing you the necessary stuff. I don't
Yeah.
care if it's a brand. You got a North Face, you got a Columbia. I remember, I would never forget, my dad bought me a Columbia puffer coat, and I went to school and got flamed for it. But there was nothing I could do. Like, that's the coat that my parents bought me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, and so fast forward to junior year of high school, you know, you get your working papers, you get your little job, whatever the case may be. That's when I was hitting the Forever 21s on payday. That's when I was hitting the Champs on 2/5 on payday. You know what I mean? And starting to, you know, sort of build my collection.
I want to talk about, since we're talking about childhood, I want to get into childhood real quick because as you can see, I'm a fellow dark skinned guy. You're a dark
Mm-hmm.
skinned guy. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s, because we're not too far from age. I feel like we come from the same era at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day.
For
Uh,
sure.
it wasn't cool to be a dark skinned guy. It wasn't cool to be a guy who played with dolls or was into fashion or was into
Mm-hmm.
music. I got my share of
Mm-hmm.
things. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
you got your share of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole nother conversation to talk about, but I want to talk about it a little bit now because how did you maneuver through that? You know, I heard a lot growing up, boys don't do that. And now as an adult is yes, boys do. And when I
Mm-hmm.
say that, I
Yeah.
mean, you was into fashion, but it was like side eyed. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the boys that was into hair was side eyed. Um, now, and this is no shade, I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
The industry. the hairstylists, the stylists are majority guys.
Yep.
I watch a lot of women, cis women, turn to men to show them how to be feminine. I mean, that's a real. This is a conversation that really we could really have because
for sure.
That's a big conversation to have. But I'm just saying, yes, boys do, and so,
Yes,
but at the
boys do.
time, you think something's wrong. At the time, you're like, why would I rather listen to? I remember. I'm just sharing this because of the conversation. I remember my father asked me what I was listening to. He had called and I was listening to somebody, Brandy, Britney Spears. I don't know. I was listening to my tunes. You know what I'm saying? And I remember him saying, who you listening to? And I told him. And he was like, why you always listening to girls? And I remember getting so like, and I think he called it over the phone like, wait, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you sing, because I used to sing when I was young. You sing, listen to guys, try to emulate guys. You know, you're a boy. So, you know what I'm saying? Try to, listen to more guys. Now, he tried to clean it up.
That was his way of trying to clean it up. But he still meant what he meant.
Yeah, because outside, I'm hearing it too. Why you always around girls? Why you into fashion? Why you into to music? Why you into this?
It hurt more when you get that from your parent.
It would hurt because I'm really not doing this on purpose. This is what I like, and I don't see what the problem is. But now, when you get older and you realize, straight or gay or whatever your walk of life is, it's okay to like. I know a lot of straight men who love fashion and love getting fly and love the Met Gala the same way a female or a gay guy would. You get what I mean? Like all of it is fake. Like the whole society norm, all that is fake. But when you're in it, when we're young and we're in it, it's the end of the world. So I wanted to share that,
especially in our community.
Yeah, I wanted to share that as well as get your feedback on what you thought about that and what your experience was.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I think we had similar experiences. I got the same thing. Boys don't do that. Girls do that. That's a girl thing. That's not a boy thing. Dissecting it a little bit on the skin color front, growing up, you're right. Like it wasn't popular to be dark skinned, right? And if you were, you had to look a certain way, or you had to have a certain demeanor. Or dark skinned people, and back in the late 90s, early 2000s, they were, if you look at it, the portrayal in the media, they were all the same thing. You know what I mean? There was really no differences in terms of that demographic, right? You picking up what I'm saying?
I'm picking up what you're saying. I'm definitely there. And I'm sure the people watching, they're picking it up too. Some things you don't have to really explain what's, you know what I'm saying, what's understood.
I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I think with that came certain comments made towards me and my skin color. I remember growing up in grade school, people used to joke and just say, "You're so dark. We turn the lights off, we can't see you," or "You're so dark." I had this one girl, she used to call me purple. She said, "I'm so dark that I'm purple." And that was my nickname from her, purple. You're purple, Looking back on it now, I don't think I internalized. Actually, I'm going to say, I know I didn't internalize all the skin color stuff because, like I said, when it came to coming back home, my house was very black. And growing up, my house was very black. And I saw my parents, obviously, are dark-skinned people. I saw them move through the world in a way where, on my end, obviously they had issues, but on my end, I never seen them sweat.
It wasn't home for me. It wasn't home for me. It was more outside. At home, you are beautiful. You are handsome. You are my chocolate baby. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's even crazier because now what we would get picked on, or what, like I said, even the bit I said earlier, we get praised for. Now I get compliments on my skin all the time.
All the time now.
And I be wanting to tell kids, like, especially kids that's going through it, and you see the kids that's, that be, taking their own lives and things. It's like, yo, it gets better. It gets
better. Just give it time.
Just give it time.
Yeah. But on the sexuality front, though, I can't say the same thing. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
had that. I had that in the home,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
think I think when it pertains to that, I definitely internalize things there. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Even leading into my career and why I felt like I couldn't start sooner. You know what I mean? Because it was the the sentiments that boys don't do that. You know, that's a girl thing. You know, but here we are. Yes, boys do.
That's boys do. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanna do something with that. So I'm saying that now. I said that out loud now because that's already
Mm-hmm.
in the works and already kind of getting its own, you know.
We spoke.
Yeah, I just don't, you know what
mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Mm-hmm.
putting it on record, like, you know what I mean? But nah,
Yeah,
I want to do
yeah,
something with that, especially to empower boys, empower men who are into anything from all walks of life. You know what I'm saying? I always say at my table, it is the gray area. You know what I'm saying? My table is the
yeah,
table where everybody can come in and respect each other. And um, you said something in regards to a sexuality, and I don't know, I don't know, and if I'm right or wrong, whatever. I don't really want to argue about it. I don't really know. I kind of stand in what I'm saying,
mm-hmm.
but it's sad that just because you was into fashion before you even recognized your sexuality, who you was sexually attracted to, or
Yeah,
that became that identity, and then it became your
yeah.
identity. Now you're in an identity crisis because it's like, wait, I want to sew clothes, but like like, but does that mean I'm going to be dating? But does that mean, but what if I, and then if I do, does that mean I have to, like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to
Mm-hmm.
know, when did you find your voice though? When did you find, you know what, I'm about to walk in this thing in all areas, everything, the fashion, everything, and just be Kamoy? When did you find your voice?
College,
And that's where most people find their voice, especially those
college.
years. Yeah.
I graduated high school. I'm not going to say I had a miserable high school experience, but it wasn't the ideal high school experience that an average teenager would love to have,
I
you
hated high
know?
school.
Um, I, I hated parts of high school, I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was like bullied, but I went through things, you know, and I think when it came to having a fresh start, right? Like I saw college as an opportunity to be like, all right, let's wipe this shit clean.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse my language. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if we could curse on it. Let's
Do your
wipe
thing.
this clean. Um, let's wipe this clean and let's restart, you
Yeah.
know? And so with that, I told myself, this is the time to be true to yourself, no matter what anyone has to say, anyone thinks about it. Um, you're you know, and be you. Not everyone's gonna love it, and that's okay. But as long as you're being you and fully yourself and doing everything you want to do, and it's not hurting anybody else, then who cares, you know?
and
So yeah, that was a defining moment for me.
and it doesn't stop though. It's defining moments all the time. They come
Yeah,
out of
oh,
nowhere, as you, especially
absolutely,
as you get older.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. There was work. There's still work to be done. I'm still not fully the person that I want to be. You know, I'm much closer than I was 10 years ago. Um, but there's still work to be done and things to unpack. You know, it's a work in progress. But I think if you make strides every day, that's all that matters.
I want to talk about fashion. Of course, this is what this
Hmm.
is based around. And I remember growing up, my mother, may she rest in peace. She was known by how she dressed. Like, to this day, if she come up, they'd be like, "Your mother used to dress her ass off." Like that's all. Like, she was known for that. She known how. And I think because, again, back then, the bigger girl was not supposed to be stylish. Like, so when she will put it together, like, as I think about it now, it's like, yeah, she was putting it
Hmm.
together. But was y'all really like? Was it because she was bigger? Y'all didn't expect it. Like, what's really going on? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But for real, I feel like, you know, she was just a fly. She was a fly, dark skinned, fly girl. And growing up, all I saw on the kitchen, on the counters and the TV stands was, the coffee tables was Vogue and all of that, right?
Hmm.
Of course, I'm on Right On and Word Up and
Right. Right.
and Source and Double X. You know what I'm saying? I'm over there, but
Yeah.
she had
Yeah.
all the fashion magazines. I remember how she would like something and she would be like, "Oh, that's cute," and then she'll replicate it. You know what I'm saying? And she was just a
Hmm.
fly. She was just a fly girl. My dad was a street guy. No shade. Let's not take that away from him. In the streets. but was very particular about how he looked. He didn't play about it
Yeah.
at all. And I don't think I got whatever that gene is. When I say that, I mean, if it looks nice, if it fits, if it matches, I'm out the door. There's no like thought. Like I don't be like paying attention to detail like that. I'm not like, it's not, fashion and style is not my life. Like I love a good, like I know, like I could watch the Met Gala and have an opinion. Like
Yeah.
what she should have did, she should have whatever. If it's on somebody else, I know how to, you know what I'm saying? Get them together. People come to me about what they should wear all the time. But like when it comes to me, it's not that deep for me. It's like, yo, just throw this on and keep it moving. But I will say that I do know it is important to dress the part. I do know it is important to, you know, for that interview, look good. I know it's important for certain situations for you to show up in the room. People are going to see what you have on first before they're going to judge that first before they even have a conversation with you, which is kind of crazy, but it is what it is. So how important, when you came into yourself, when you found yourself, when you was finding yourself, how important was fashion in your identity?
Fashion and style was my way of expressing myself because the words weren't there. You know? The words weren't there. I don't think when I first started to like put myself together and identify things, clothing and styles that I liked, it was really a love letter to myself, right? Like, I love this. I can see myself wearing it this way. It makes me feel XYZ, you know? And so that's how it all really started. It really started as a way for me to feel my best, right? Think of it as like armor. And as I went on, I realized that like it really does act as armor because sometimes, like you said, before people even get to know you, they get into your fit, they get into your style, right? And it became something that people spoke about before talking about any of the other things that I may have been uncomfortable about myself, like my weight or my skin color or my orientation or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Now, looking back, I'm like, child, what was going on?
But that's eras.
What were you wearing? You know? But again, I look back on those photos, I'm like, but you felt fab
at that time,
right? You felt fab at that time, you know? So yeah, that's just how I guess the love relationship started with style. And like when I really was like, okay, like this is not just something that's like a hobby. Like I'm good at it. I'm it's my passion. I actually love it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
But there's a good to that and a bad to that as well. I won't say bad. Bad is crazy word, but there's a and a to that, right? Because there's some people who are so focused on their fashion and what they look like that it becomes their identity. That mask is really all they have. Like there don't be nothing else going on in your life. It don't be nothing else happening because you're so focused on presenting yourself. You know, you're getting dressed for everybody else instead of yourself. And I really feel like everything you do, yes, leave that 10% on them. You know what I'm saying? Leave that 10% to show out and beat flies in the room. And when you go out, you know what I'm saying? Let all eyes on you. Yes, we all feel that.
Yeah.
But you should be doing everything for you.
I never wanted to be one of those people that like the clothes made them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is why I'm still to this day an advocate of not having to buy designer or be in designer to look good. You know what I mean?
Can we stay there? Because that's where I was going.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
What is you can dress and what is you can't dress? Because there's people who really can dress, meaning thrift store, Target, anything.
Yeah.
Whatever. A curtain, a bath towel, they could eat that and it'd be crazy because they can dress. And then you have people who think they can dress because they have Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and everything else on and the labels everywhere and be looking crazy. So I really want to know as somebody that I feel like can dress and into style and style others, and this is not just a hobby, this is your brand, this is your job. What
Mm-hmm.
is, for the people in the back, what does you can dress and you can't dress mean?
You can dress is style. You can't dress, I wouldn't say you can't dress is fashion, but like it's style versus fashion, basically. Um, you can dress is like you said, you don't you not- you're the brand or the item necessarily is not why you're buying it. It's more about
What you can do with it.
how what you can do with it and how you can see it pairing with everything else you have in your wardrobe and the many different ways that you can make a combination out of this item, right? And how it makes you feel when you put it on, right? Um, the you can't dress or the fashion side of it is very much so like I'm fly because I have on the latest Bottega. I'm fly because I have on the latest Gucci. Now, don't get me wrong. I love me a designer piece here and there, but I only buy designer if I really and truly love it. And I only buy designer shoes, bags, or shades. I don't buy designer clothing because
Mm,
guess what? The same factory that we're getting our H&M and Shein in,
same.
Gucci and Louis Vuitton are in the next row over, having the same person make it. It's just the matter of who's selling it and what brand positioning that brand or label has and what they mean to the world, and then that what dictates the price. You know,
Mhm.
um, so yeah, that's my take on you can dress versus you can't dress.
All right. So another question I have is the difference between a stylist and a designer.
Okay, stylist is the person that puts outfit combinations together. They advise the client, brand, whoever you're working for, on how something should be worn, maybe even tailored, um, and overall styled. I hate to use the word in the definition, but essentially, like styling is just making it look good and presentable in a way that you think people will resonate with, right?
Hmm.
Um, a designer is simply the person that creates the item. They're the visionary behind the dress, behind the top, behind the jeans, behind the shoe. That's the designer. Now, sometimes I will say they can sort of be a little bit interchangeable. Like you'll have stylists that actually do design,
Yeah.
um, and have collaborations with fashion houses or independent brands or whatever the case may be, and
Mm,
will advise a designer on like the latest trends and trend forecasting and stuff like that, and what items are popping,
mm.
what they should create to sell to the mass public or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so that's essentially the difference.
What's your advice to someone who is like, yo, I wanna be. Remember we said earlier, if it's in you, it's in you, right?
Hmm.
Cause you know how you got people who I feel like everybody can do whatever they want to do. You can learn how to sing, you can learn how to dance if you just take the time and get into it and really
Yeah.
practice your craft, and you can do
Hmm.
anything you want to do. So is that the same with fashion? What do you tell somebody that's like, yo, I want to be known for my fashion. I want to get my clothes together. I want to become that person that's walking down the street and you like, yo, you fly. I want those compliments. I want to really get into it. What's your advice for them?
I'd say figure out your personal style. Don't try to be original. It's okay to like things that other people do. And if you're going to take something or an element of someone else's style, do it, but make it your own. Do your research in terms of your favorite stylists, past work that, resonated with you, um, and start working with your friends. And your friend has an event or something like that. Yo, do you need help with an outfit? Let me go shopping with you. Or maybe, what I'm thinking, you said you're going to this event or it's your birthday dinner. I'm thinking about, what about if you wear XYZ, find the items for people. show people that this is something that you really want to get into and you're good at, right? And like everything, practice makes perfect. So just practice, practice, practice. Literally, it sounds so cliche, but it's so real and it's so true. Because one thing I will say is fakes can be sought out very easily.
Mm.
And you never want to be someone that's not genuine, right? Especially in the fashion industry, because people can tell.
Yeah.
People can tell when you're copying. People can tell when you're not original. People can tell when something it doesn't feel true to you, So you just always, the number one thing or piece of advice I would say is just always be true to you, I want people to know that chasing your passion is not going to be glamorous at all. If anything, in the beginning, you're in the mud, right? Because you have to prove yourself, right? Um, and you have to do drills and you have to do sort of jump through some hoops because again, you have to prove yourself. And I sometimes, I would even say, sometimes I think it's even God saying like, listen, if this is what you want, you need to work for it. I'm not just going to hand it to you. I'm going to give you the tools. I already gave you the talent, right? But some things you need to figure out on your own and you need to navigate on your own. I'm always going to be here beside you. But if it came to you so easy,
What would you need me for?
right?
And
And would it be gratifying in the end that you made it to where you made it?
I want to stay on that too, and because I feel like personally, and I don't know who else was going through this. God, I feel like I'm in an era where God is making me put Him in everything. So I now, even when I go to the store to buy groceries, to buy anything, to spend money on Amazon, buying clothes, I'm like buying stuff for the crib. I'm just like, it doesn't hurt to just be like doing a quick prayer, like God, like be my eyes, be my, you know what I'm saying? Be my style, be my creativity.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost fun sometimes because you testing to see how that's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? You just
Yeah.
giving yourself, you're being an open vessel for everything, even just picking a shirt out, and
Mm-hmm.
that not only builds your relationship with God, but it makes you're seeing your it's not your lenses. You get what I'm saying? And who
Right.
knows? You put something together, you be like, yo, whoa, that's dope, or wow, that picture really looked nice there. Like that wasn't
Yeah.
my thought. That really was some like divine situation. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
don't understand, you don't understand. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those who understand. You
Yeah.
get
No.
what I'm
No.
saying?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like He
Mm-hmm.
wants to be God is He wants to be in our business. He wants to be in everything. So even as you style,
Absolutely.
even as you're getting dressed out there, even as you just getting going somewhere, whatever you're putting on in the day, when you say guide my steps, God in me and everything, even picking out my clothes.
Mm-hmm.
You get what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So that's
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's the era I'm in right now. I want to ask you, who was your inspirations growing up? I mean, whether that was locally, whether that was your dad who probably came in, always had a fly shoe, or whether that was your cousin down the street or somebody on TV, like all your inspirations, who were they?
I'll start with my mom. Because similar to you, my mom was a fashionista, and I attribute a lot of who I am and my love for fashion to my mother as well. Because one thing about my mother, she was gonna buy a shoe, she was gonna buy a bag, she was gonna be at an event, she was gonna wear a dress. Um, Me and my mom would take me shopping most Saturdays with her. At that age, I was over it because I didn't want to be running around the store with you. But, I now realize that that's an activity that I think she wanted me to do with her, especially as a Black man growing up when we did. I think she wanted me to have a certain understanding about how you should present yourself and
Mm-hmm.
how you
It's about
need to,
presentation. Mm-hmm.
yeah, Um, so yes, my mom. And then I would really say those young men and women that I used to see in Harlem, walking the streets of Harlem, like growing up when I was outside on the block and I was a young buck, right? And I'm seeing, all the fly boys and the fly girls of Harlem walking around in their latest and all of this. Like, I used to hone in on that and be like, love that. Like when I grow up, I want this to be me,
Yeah.
essentially. You know, I want to
Yeah.
be fly. I want to be popular like this on
Yeah.
the block in my cute fit, and I'm chilling and I'm doing me. You know, um, later in life, you know, I will list the June Ambroses and the Zarina Akers
Homage.
and, um, you know, even the Misa Hiltons and Dapper Dans and, you know, now Kanye and don't cancel me.
A fly nigga though.
Fly. When we talk about change the game of what a rapper looks like, I
Yeah.
don't really think we have anybody else that we can say did
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like Kanye really had us wearing double polos. Kanye
Yeah.
really had us wearing the glasses with the lines in it. Couldn't see a thing,
And you could
but
tell
you
he
was
really took
fly.
it. He took it serious. It wasn't a game. It wasn't
And
funny.
every era he reinvented himself,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Stylistically, musically, all the albums, it was an era, you know? And so I love him for that. I'm gonna throw ASAP Rocky in there.
Mm.
I'm gonna even throw, I wouldn't coin him as a fashionista, but um when we talk about someone who knew what their style was and created a brand around it, Cameron.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Speaking of creating brands, though, Savoir
Mm-hmm.
Faire, where did this come from? Let's get into that. Let's get into. I mean, they've been
Savoir
seeing it. They've been seeing it on
faire.
my hat. They've seen it behind you. Let's
Yes.
get into that because every time I wear this hat outside, I got the gray one. I got the green one, the olive green one.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I wear it, I love your hat. I love your hat. And you know I have no problem. Oh, my homeboy Kamoy, Instagram, da 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 da. You know Kamoy. You
Yeah.
seen with Kamoy before? Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is joint. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love those
Yeah. Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah.
So, wait, what? Tell me about it. This is your baby. Like, how did it start? Like, give me the whole inception of it and like what we doing with it.
Okay. I don't think I've ever spoken about this before. So this is,
Well, you know,
yeah, this is exclusive.
yeah.
Um,
I
but
only love an exclusive, by the way.
honestly, I will tell you, okay, so I love drag, like drag performing. I'm obsessed with drag performing. I love RuPaul.
Hmm.
Um, watch RuPaul's Drag Race, all
Hmm.
that, right? RuPaul has their song, Supermodel of the World. You know that song, Work It Girl, do your thing on the runway.
I don't care how you feel about
Iconic,
RuPaul. I don't care how you feel about RuPaul,
iconic.
drag, anything. That song and that, yeah, everybody knows that. Like, stop. Didn't even Locke say in his
Everybody knows
song,
that song.
is RuPaul. You still said his name. You threw a shot. You said his name.
Damn.
You get what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
RuPaul is an icon at the
RuPaul is
end
an
of the day,
icon at the end of the day,
and that
right?
song was huge. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So in that song, there's a line that she says, it reads, it don't matter what you wear, they're
Mhm.
checking out your savoir faire.
That's right.
Anytime that line of that song, like no matter how many times I listen to that song, that line was the line that always like stuck out to me. Anytime you know, when you tap in and out of listening to music, when you tap back in, that was the line that was coming up. And I studied French in high school um, for 3 years and loved the language. It's such a beautiful
Mhm.
language. I
Mhm.
lost a lot of it now because I don't practice. Um, but the term savoir faire, like I've always heard it, right? And so just understanding what savoir faire means or what it is, it's essentially how you present yourself, right? I don't want to say it's your mask, but it's how you present yourself and what you show the world, right? And how you carry yourself, right?
Mhm.
And to dig even deeper, um, having savoir faire is sort of means that you have a certain energy about you where you know how to move through the room no matter what room you're in, right? And it's not about hierarchy or I'm better than you, or I'm you know what I mean? It's not about that. It's about authentically being you and knowing that we are all rubbing elbows and we're all on the same level, right? That's having savoir faire.
Mm.
And so taking all of that into consideration and thinking about myself, it resonates with me because that's one thing growing up, my mother always instilled in me. You respect everybody,
Period.
everybody, right? It don't matter where you work, who you are, unhoused, housed, you respect everybody. And so all of that combined is the origin of savoir faire and why I felt the need to start it. Because then when we connected to the style, right? All the things that I mentioned earlier, style is a part of how I present myself. Style is a part of my savoir faire. And so I felt it was really important to start a brand that just really stood for that, and dug deeper than just the fashion and the style aspect, but it
Yeah.
really had meaning behind it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And it can go further than fashion. It could be a whole thing. It could be a whole lifestyle brand. It could be
Yeah,
a bunch of
yeah,
things that we've
yeah.
talked about. We're not going to get into now because
We're
we
not
got to
gonna
get
get into
we
it.
got to get it right. But yeah,
Don't read. Yeah.
one thing I like about any type of brand is a purpose, and the fact that I feel like I've asked you this question and you've never said that to me. Like even in our private conversations, you've never broke it down like that. So I'm even more excited about it because you ate that. Like you like I love an origin story that's like inspirational. And when you do something and you start something and you create something that has intention behind it and purpose behind
Mhm.
it, it's going to flourish. There's people who start in their labels, and I'm not bashing it. I'm here for it. But you can tell when somebody's doing something because everybody else is doing it, or doing something
Mhm.
because it's just a quick buck, or doing something just because, and there's no purpose or intention. And then when you see something that's purposeful and intentional, it's like that's gonna go somewhere. That's gonna go far. You pay attention. Again, a little behind the scenes, you you take the stitching, you take the manufacturing very serious. There's
Mhm.
some things you had to throw away because it wasn't right, and you're
Yep.
not gonna put it out until it's right. I've been on those phone calls with you. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like I've seen it, and everybody's not meant to see behind the scenes on things, but that's why I kind of like Beyonce. And I know people laugh about it, like, every documentary she's telling you how she sacrificed and how much went into it. But for
But
real,
she's for
if she
real.
don't make you want to work hard, and she's telling you that this is not for play, I really do this.
I
and
really do this.
and I feel like you take your craft very serious, and that's how I know Savoir Faire is going to go far
Thank
and
you.
do its thing. I'm ready for, like, by fall winter time, it's time to bring out a coat. It's time to
I
have
agree.
maybe
I
a boot.
agree.
Have a
I
boot.
agree.
It's time for some shit. Like you said, you buy designer glasses and bags and accessories. It's for you to have your own as well. And all your friends, all of us rock it. We all support now, but I really feel like it's gonna be a Savoir Faire winter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Summer,
Yeah.
you got some shorts coming. We got some shirts. What's coming up for Savoir Faire?
So what's coming up for well, first and foremost, thank you, friend. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
And those words definitely keep me going. Because I will tell you, like, Beyonce is not lying. Now, let me tell you, I'm not comparing myself to her
At
in that
all, at
way, like
all.
that.
But she's a
But
teacher.
like,
She's a
she's a teacher, and work really goes into this, right? And in the first couple years of business, you lose more than you make. So this is definitely not about
mm,
a quick buck or about money for me. Like you said, like, this really has a purpose, and I really believe in it, and I really want these pieces to be out there in the world and make people feel good, right? And spread a message. But in terms of what's coming next, so we are about to drop our uniform shirt. Now, I am backstory. All throughout high school, middle school, high school, I wore uniform. White shirt, navy blue pants, navy blue tie, navy blue sweater. So this shirt is sort of a play on that, right? And reclaiming that uniform, because I hated wearing uniform, but as the years went on, I actually loved it, right? And I found different ways to like make it my own,
You're a stylist.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so the Savoir Faire uniform shirt, we're calling it the uniform button down, is what's next to drop. It is a white button down paying homage to my high school uniform, where we have the embroidery stitching across the back, and then we have our logo with emblem in the front. And yeah, this is our next drop. So
That's new because I
next.
didn't know that. So I'm ready. Aside from what we do with the fashion and music, the podcast, whatever, we are corporate. We're corporate, right?
We're corporate.
And so that's for the corporate people as well.
The idea of this shirt is to like transition from like daytime corporate to after work happy hour,
Which is what we do.
This is what we love that.
Corporate, we love that.
You hitting them with the
boom.
Good morning. How you doing?
And then we with the
happy hour, what's up, right? Solid, laid back, whatever the case may be. So that's next. I'm very excited. I'm also working on a bag. I actually met with a manufacturer today about it. So we're getting things moving, friend. I will tell you, it's costly. But I believe in it and it's my passion. So it's worth it,
Yeah. What advice do you have for other entrepreneurs, other designers, other fashion stylists and things of that nature to keep going and stay in the game and still put up their art, put out their products?
One like, one view, it matters. Don't pay attention to how many people are seeing your stuff, seeing your things, seeing your work. Continue to put it out there. I feel like in this day and age of social media, we feel like when we put something out, it got to get 200 likes, 3,000 views, for it to make sense to us and for it to feel right to us. And when we don't get that, we're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. So I say, don't let those moments discourage you, right? Like your passion is your passion and it's your passion. It's not anybody else's. So whether one person likes it, no people like it, whatever the case may be, continue to do you, because like anything, it's gonna pop when it hits the right person. And so I say that to say, like, don't do it to chase that moment, but know that it's moments like that you have to work toward.
Yeah, and you have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
And you have to stay ready so that you don't have to get ready.
You have to be ready to go.
When it's time to go, you have to be ready to go. And that's something even that I have to remind myself about, right? Even with dropping these shirts. Like you said, like there's so much that goes into the manufacturing part of things. I'm like, it needs to be right so that when I drop these shirts, I'm not going to be embarrassed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, that's another piece of advice. Like you threw that in the pot, like stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You know what I mean? It's intimidating, but these are things that we need
for sure,
to stay on top of, right? Because we don't have mommy and daddy's coin, most of us, to pay somebody to wear it or XYZ, And I think it's even more beautiful when it comes from someone who doesn't have that, because it's authentic and it's genuine. And so, just stay true to who y'all are and keep grinding and keep at it no matter who's watching.
And if you have a 9-to-5 and a part-time and you're doing this, it's okay. You don't got to front for nobody. We are all out here trying to get it, struggling, figuring it out. Just don't give up on a dream.
I have a full 9-to-5 job. You have a full 9-to-5 job. Yes, we need it to survive, right? Because the dream hasn't reached its full potential yet. But we're still chasing the dream. And I saw something today. One of my friends posted it. She said, I don't remember what she said verbatim, but essentially it's like, being able to do your art is a luxury.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're living a luxury life just
Yeah.
by chasing our dreams.
Yeah.
You know, so always remember that.
Yeah. I'm here for that. It's time for you to go public speaking, do your, you know what I'm saying, your TED Talks.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. We ready for it. The Savoir Faire convention. Look, I'm thinking big. I'm thinking further. You get what I'm saying?
I'm here for it.
Share what else you have going on besides that.
I mean, on the styling front, you know, I'm a contributing stylist to As If magazine, which is I think it's a monthly publication, print magazine that I style for from time to time. Recently worked with Marsha Gay Harden, Emmy award-winning actress. I'd say most recently worked with Melissa Ford on a launch for her new podcast, which was a really good experience. And, you know, styling isn't as consistent anymore, but I do love the opportunities that I do get to be in the spaces that I am. And so I never take it for granted. But yeah, that's just a little taste of what's been going on.
And more. And more to come.
Front. Yeah. More to come for sure.
So I ask everybody that, you know, I interview, what is your genius? So Kamoy J, what is your genius?
Before I answer this question, you know, I know that I am a genius, but when it comes to defining it, it's so difficult. It's so difficult, and I don't know why that is. And I think that's because I wear so many different hats, right? And so in thinking about that, the answer to that question, I will say I am a multifaceted artist. My genius is being a creative and a multifaceted artist. I know for a fact that I was put on this earth to create. I know that that's my genius.
And I'm here for it, and I agree. Listen, I see so much more. You know what I'm saying, friend? Privately and publicly, I pay the homage. Shout out to you. And what I always say, shout out to everybody.
Shout out to everybody.
Everybody. Any last words for the people that's listening and watching?
No last words for the people, but for you, I do want to say I am so proud to see you tap back in. You know, we have our private conversations.
You was there.
You know, a lot has transpired, but I will say, like you say, it's in you. And the proof is in the pudding. So I'm just so honored again to be here having this conversation with you. I cannot wait to see more because there's definitely more to come. And yeah, keep doing your thing, friend. Proud of you.
I appreciate that. Now listen, when things start getting really, really more active, doors is opening and stuff, and I reach out for a follow-up interview, I don't send me your publicist information. Don't send me your team. I don't answer your phone. You understand?
You got the direct line.
Because we'll be on Shade Room going back and forth. I'm not playing with you.
You got the direct
Okay?
You got the direct line. You got
airing it out.